What is good, YouTube? Quinway repping AnalysisPlayground.com coming to y'all with a quick video. We gonna talk about the Atlanta Hawks versus the Milwaukee Bucks, and man, did they get annihilated today. They made Trae Young make tough decisions in crowded space. They were sending two guys to trap him, force him to get the ball out of his hands, forcing other guys to play, make, and score. And outside of Lou Williams, they really don't have too many guys that can do it, unfortunately. But at the same time, that's why you have to find ways to make adjustments to counter what the Bucks have done. The Bucks was prepared. I feel like they was more hungrier. I feel like they had the killer instinct this game. They wanted to come out and give the fans a show. And they absolutely did that. I feel the same way about the Hawks in game one, and I feel exactly the same about the Bucks. Their defense was way better this game. They communicated better, and they really forced the Hawks to think a lot. They was making a lot of passes. They wasn't quick to shoot the threes, and even when they had some threes, they was contested, or they had to put the ball down and make a pass because they didn't want to do anything else. And that's the type of defense that the Bucks are capable of. When they're locked in, they have guys that can play great defense, especially together. They have the size, they have the mobility, they have the athleticism, and they have the talent to get it done. Bryn Forbes actually had a showing when he missed some shots bad, but he also splashed in some threes. Brook Lopez was a guy that a lot of people felt flopped in game one and really wasn't even worth playing anymore, but he showed that he can still contribute inside and outside the paint. Giannis took some outside shots that I didn't really care for. He missed them, honestly, but he's going to feel confident. They're going to give it to him. They're going to trash talk him to take him, and it's up to him to let it go. Ultimately, if you shoot the ball, you shot it. So it ain't nobody fault to blame but Giannis if he takes them. And if he makes them, people are going to be happy for him. If he misses them, people are going to criticize him for it because he was so dominant in the paint. They couldn't stop him from getting to the paint. They couldn't stop him and contest it enough to make it tough. He's long. He can cover a lot of space, and he can, finish because he's strong also, upper body. So Giannis is a force, especially when he's going quick, especially when he gets you off the dribble, and especially if you don't have a legitimate center that can keep him away with a rotation. And he usually just waited until he seen the angle, waited until he seen the opportunity, and then that's when he attacked. And you didn't see too many charges called on him when he just overdoing things or over forcing it. We didn't see that Giannis tonight either, and that's why we seen such a dominant performance from him this game. You can also look at Drew Holiday. He took a couple threes and made them. He was able to attack the paint, attack the mid-range game. When Drew Holiday jump shot is going, he's a tough thing to guard because he is a guy that can be known as a shooting guard or point guard with his size and athleticism and length with his wingspan. But if his perimeter shot is falling, you just gonna have to live with it because he took some tough ones, some step backs, and some ones with guys in his face, and he just made them all net. If he's gonna do that, you ain't going to play no better defense. If anything, you want him taking those type of shots. And we seen them miss it in against the Miami series. We seen them miss them in the Brooklyn series. And if he's making them, you'll live with it. If that goes in, you'll take it. Middleton didn't really have the dominant performance everybody wanted him to have coming back off a bad game one. But he knocked down his three, something that he didn't really do in game one. And he took the shots that was there. He didn't really force too many of them. He didn't really do too much. He just played within the offense, took his spots, and if he had the opportunity to go ISO or if he had the right master up, he just took advantage of it. And that's what you would like to see him continue to do because that's his game. And you don't want him deviating too much from that. You also have to consider that the Hawks are really stagnated once Trae Young isn't really creating a lot of opportunities for them. And if they're going to trap and double team Trae Young, somebody really is going to have to figure out on the coaching staff where can we put guys out on the court and what type of lineups do we need to counter the Bucks, because if they play the same game again, they will get blew out again just because the Bucks was able to really take out the heart and soul of their team and their system. Trae Young is small. He's little. he can't really see over traps. He can't really see over double teams. And if you send him early, he struggles to pass out of them. And that's something that's known for guys that isn't as big and he isn't as tall. You can crowd them when you have guys that's 6'3" or higher. Like Drew Holiday usually is the smallest person on the court because PJ Tucker is 6'5". So if you got everybody that's bigger and stronger than him and also taller than him, forcing him to pass through them or over him, it can really make him struggle. And that's how you have to contain the Hawks. If you can slow down Trae Young and you can get him guessing and hopping around, but not really attacking you and killing you, you in a good position. And that's what I said the Bucks had to do. Either they was going to have to literally take Trae Young out and force everybody to beat him, or allow Trae Young to score a lot of points and just outscore them, because the Hawks not known as a good defensive team and the Bucks have a lot of matchup problems that they give to the Hawks, and they took advantage of them even in game one. They just couldn't really stop the Hawks when it mattered, and they faltered and flopped in the end in the fourth quarter of game one. When people forget, the Bucks actually had a chance multiple times to tie or take the lead, but they just didn't convert on it. So they still technically could have won game one. They just didn't get it done. And the Hawks, they still should feel good. They won a game that they possibly could have lost and got it done in Milwaukee. They get to go back home and really watch a lot of footage, watch a lot of things. We know that Nate McMillan is willing to make changes and adjustments because we've seen them do it in the other two series. And they really just going to have to find out a way to get Trae Young to be able to see the whole court and be able to make plays after he gets trapped. And if he gets trapped, other guys are just going to have to be ready. Maybe you use John Collins in the post a little bit more. Maybe you try to use flare screens to get Trae Young, get one guy off of Trae Young so he can go one-on-one. Or maybe you try to use double screens so he can get downhill and be able to get to that floater spot, or even find the shooters or a dump off to Capella. They're going to really have to go back down to the drawing board and do their offense over, just because the Bucks had the right decisions and they really made Trae Young uncomfortable, and it really made him rush and speed up what he wanted to do, just because they covered so much space and was able to send multiple bodies at him at once. And he just wasn't ready. He just wasn't prepared. He'll see it'll slow down to him in game three, but the Bucks took advantage of this game and they was able to lock it up. And that's one thing that they had to do, going into this game, because you don't want to go down 0-2 going to Atlanta for two more games, and then you in a must-win situation already, and the series just basically started. Well, they don't have to worry about that now, since they took care of game two, and they should be very confident and very happy going into game three. A lot of the things I will say is, when the Bucks was early in their offense, they took a lot of chuck up shots when you still had 16, 14, 10 seconds left on the shot clock. They basically just threw up something bad, and the Hawks was able to clear some of that lead up. Because of that, they was able to get out in transition. They was able to get to the free throw line, or they was able to knock down threes, because the Bucks wasn't consistently putting pressure on them by scoring. And that's something that you can't do, because we seen that they came back against the Knicks, and we also seen them make huge comebacks against the Sixers, because once this Hawks team is zooming and going, they tough to stop, as they have guys that's perfect around Trae Young. And if you can't stop him, they feed off of him. And if you can't stop them, he can get his own shot. And the Bucks was able to neutralize it enough, but the Hawks will be ready and they will be prepared, and they will try to switch some things up and change some things up so they don't get blew out again. Even though the Bucks lost game one, like I said, I still felt like they still was the better team, and I still felt like they would probably win game two, and I still feel like they will win the series. Just because they lost game one, I didn't change that, I didn't switch that, and I'm not really surprised that they blew out the Hawks, as I thought that they was the better team, and a lot of the things that they do is works well against the Hawks. So I'm not happy, not sad, not crazy, not feeling like this is over. I just didn't think that it would be, the fact that the Bucks lost game one. I wouldn't expect them to lose it the way they did, but I also did figure that they will be able to get the job done and go into Atlanta at least tied. Even though I didn't even believe that they would lose game one anyway, it don't matter now, because they can start the series fresh 1-1 and take command of the series and go 2-1 if they can win game three in Atlanta. But other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow on Saturday so we can talk about the Clippers and Phoenix, see if the Clippers can tie it up or see if the Suns can go up 3-1 and come one game away from going to the NBA Finals and bring a championship possibly to Phoenix. We won't know until we see what happens tomorrow. That's why it's fun. That's why it's exciting. And I'll be coming down I'll be coming back with a video to break that down to see who won and how they won and what they can do. Also for their game five and game four. So other than that, the Bucks got the job done. They held their ground, they held their territory, they defended well, clean up a little bit of their shot selection, clean up a little bit of getting a little bit too excited when they was blowing them out, and just hold your composure, stay calm, stay ready, and do what you did today, and just mix it up a little bit, and most likely you can be able to win the next game. And if I'm the Hawks, Trae Young, slow down, stop rushing, stop forcing it. If the pass ain't there or you can't turn that corner, don't try to do too much. Don't try to, force the issue. If it ain't there, it ain't there. Don't try to make something happen that ain't there. That's how you get the turnovers. That's how you take the bad shots. And that's how you help the Bucks blow you out by killing you in transition and being able to attack your unset defense. That's just basketball 101. But the Hawks made a lot of mental mistakes. The Hawks didn't really seem prepared, and the Hawks didn't make enough legitimate adjustments to get back in this game. And the Bucks was all on them. They was ready for them, and they wanted to send a message. And I feel like they did that tonight. And now they just got to replicate it again in game three to take control of this lead and go up 2-0 with a chance to get closer to their dream. And that's bringing the championship to Milwaukee for the first time since the 1970s. We'll see which teams get it done. And hopefully you guys enjoyed your night. And I'll be back tomorrow. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, signing out.